Back in Minneapolis, week 3 in the National Football League. The Minnesota Vikings, head coach Leslie Frazier, an overtime win over Jacksonville and a 3-point loss last Sunday in Indianapolis. Across the way, Jim Harbaugh's 49ers getting set for their 3rd consecutive game against a team from the NFC North. Wins over the Packers on the road and the Lions at home.
And that's why you find the San Francisco 49ers atop a lot of those power polls that you talked about earlier, Kenny.
49ers won the toss, they deferred, so David Akers kicks off to Percy Harvin. Harvin taken down shy of the 20, there is a flag. Third week of the regular season with the replacement officials. Ken Roan is our referee. His crew worked the Monday night game at Atlanta.
Illegal block in the back on the kicking team. 10-yard penalty. Will be first down.
So the 49ers penalized on the opening kickoff. Jim Harbaugh not happy about it.
Well, it sounds like the call was made to the wrong side, but as you're covering a kick and you're running downfield, you're going to have a blocker who's dropping back. He could be running in front of you, and you shove them in the back to get him out of the way. That's what Jim Harbaugh's upset about. It's not a block in the back. It's getting that guy out of your lane. Yeah.
Be first down, Minnesota.
But this is just like any defensive player trying to get to the ball. Watch 26 White right there. Now, why he was doing that, there could have been a blindside block trying to take off one of his guys. He's freeing up his guy to get down the field in coverage. DeMarcus Dobbs, number 83, big defensive lineman, very athletic. Probably had him selected out to make sure he wasn't an issue.
No number announced initially by the referee Ken Roan, and then they picked up the flag as Adrian Peterson takes the handoff from Christian Ponder on first down and gains 4.
Well, Leslie Frazier told us that they are going to stay true to their identity. They're going to come out and they're going to run the ball into this tough San Francisco defense. A lot of pressure on these guys up front here. And what can you say about Adrian Peterson that hasn't been said already? Absolutely amazing to see him where he's at after that late season injury last year.
Michael Jenkins split to the left. Harvin motions into the backfield, and this is Harvin. Second in the league in receptions over the first 2 weeks. They love to get the ball in his hands. And Harvin picks up a first down out to the 34. He picks up 12.
And all these guys on the Niners defense are excited to get back into some base formations, especially Isaac Sopoaga against Green Bay and against Detroit. He logged 15 total snaps when you're talking about teams that like to spread. So this linebacker group, this defensive line, very excited to be going into their base packages. And this is one of the more underrated secondaries in the NFL, in my opinion. You don't hear a lot about San Francisco, but very, very impressive. They've taken that next step in that offseason program that Tony talked about.
Everybody back from last season, aside from Paris Harrelson on injured reserve, and Ahmad Brooks comes up to make the tackle on Adrian Peterson for no gain. Carol, you mentioned Peterson, the remarkable comeback from the torn ACL and MCL suffered last December.
It's just amazing to think that he got hurt that late in the season last year. And I think the thing that Adrian did was he committed to being there for the opener right away. Mentally, he was preparing his body for all the challenges throughout that rehab.
On 2nd and 10, Ponder throws wide open. The tight end Kyle Rudolph for another Vikings first down.
This is the area that I think that Christian Ponder is going to try to attack this Niners defense. It's going to be that intermediate area, and it could be with Kyle Rudolph and John Carlson, the tight ends. They really don't have that vertical threat down the field right now. Jerome Simpson, the guy that they acquired in the offseason to do those things for this pass offense, still out on suspension.
They'll have Simpson back next week. Rudolph gained 16. And now from midfield, a stutter step by Peterson. And Peterson gains 3 down to the 47-yard line. 2nd and 7 upcoming for Christian Ponder and the Vikings. Ponder in his second season out of Florida State leads the league in completion percentage.
Now, how about that? That's a big jump. That's almost 20 points more than last year. And Christian Ponder did a great job in the offseason committing to that. That was the area that he wanted to improve, around the mid-50s in completion percentage. He knew he had to get better.
3 receivers set. Ponder gets rid of it quickly. This is Harvin. And Harvin gains 2, and a late flag is thrown.
They want to get the ball in the hands of Percy Harvin early, huh?
Chris Culliver, the face mask. Another Vikings first down.
Yeah, if you're going to give him some space, Tony, they are just going to try and get him the football. And again, you're not seeing a face mask, but you can see he had the back of the helmet. That's the same thing. You're going to come in, you see right there as he grabs the back of the helmet and uses that just like a face mask.
I'll tell you what, he's a man out there. He gets the ball. We saw him in the early, he got caught that, ran that ball earlier and just trying to run people over. He's not trying to avoid contact. He's trying to make contact.
387 combined yards, Tony, for Harvin over the first 2 games, the Vikings record. As Peterson leans forward to the 27 for a gain of 3.
You know, Darryl, you talked about Adrian Peterson earlier, and I think the amazing thing about his comeback is not just, him being able to come back for the opener, but the way he's cutting on that leg. I've had that same surgery, the ACL. I'll tell you what, it took me a year, and even when I came back after a year, just to put that leg down on turf and have the confidence to go and plant on it. And I was just a defensive lineman. He has to put more strain than any other person, I think, on the field, and his confidence is unbelievable with his leg.
Tony off the fake to Peterson. Pass is caught. It's the tight end, Rudolph, once again. Run out of bounds by Ahmad Brooks. So Ponder told us he wanted to look towards the tight ends a little more today than he has over the first 2 weeks. And so far, Rudolph with 2 catches on this drive.
But the criticism for this Vikings offense here locally is the fact that there's not a lot of explosive plays down the field. But we showed you Christian Ponder's completion percentage. A lot of that has to do because he's taking what the defense is giving him. And they really don't have that guy to get down the field vertically right now.
On 3rd and 1, Peterson, big push for a first down.
I'll tell you what, Darryl, down here, they have a good tempo going, Minnesota. Up to the line of scrimmage, they're running a lot of plays, they're moving the ball.
They've got to finish their drives, Tony. They have had nice drives through the course of the first 2 weeks of the season, and one of the things that they've got to get better at is right here. Now you're entering the red zone. They've been kicking some field goals that have cost them to get into tight games in the 4th quarter. They're 1-1. If they take care of business here and finish these drives, it'll be a huge plus for them.
Toby Gerhardt in for Peterson, off the play fake. Ponder hit as he throws. That's his first incompletion. He started the game 4 for 4. Ahmad Brooks with the pressure.
Yeah, Ahmad Brooks, you get one of those matchups as a linebacker. A lot of times you're going to draw a tackle. This time you're going to draw a running back. And I like the way that Jerome Felton closed the gap. He got up close to Ahmad Brooks to give himself some air. But what he did is he got too far inside, had his shoulders turned inside. Ahmad Brooks recognizes that right away and gets outside.
Got to keep those shoulders square. You know that right there.
You got it.
Now it's Harvin lined up in the backfield. Quick release. That pass intended for Stephen Burton on the slant.
And this is an awful quick throw for a release that's going to take a little bit of time. Look at Stephen Burton. He's working that release. That ball has already been thrown by Christian Ponder.
Offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave. Vikings face a 3rd down and 10. They need to get to the 8 for a first down. And it is Rudolph once again, his 3rd catch of this drive.
That's a great job of knowing where the marker is. Second effort, getting his body over, making sure the ball, before his knee hits or his elbow, the ball is past where the first down marker is. Kyle Rudolph, nice job.
Impressive opening drive by the Vikings. They started at their own 18-yard line.
Those tight ends are athletic, huh, Darryl?
They are. It's going to be a tough matchup for Deshaun Golson and Dante Whitner.
On first and goal, it's Peterson who takes it inside the 2.
And there's what Tony's talking about. Not the fact that he's back and able to play, but he is productive. Watch the jump cuts here on this run. Holes clogged, jump cut right, jump cut left, square the shoulders. Unbelievable.
I'm just happy when I came back from my knee injury, I didn't have to do that. I'll tell you that. Woo. Unbelievable.
Second and goal, 14th play of the drive for the Vikings. Adrian Peterson. Our man to bring down Navarro Bowman. First Niner in on the stop.
I can't tell you how important it is to finish right here. I mean, we've talked about this drive, number of plays, time, where they started from, but here we are in a critical snap right on the opening drive of the game. Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, tough guys on the inside against the run. This is a big play for the Minnesota Vikings to build some positives.
This defense doesn't get many rushing touchdowns, I'm going to tell you.
Vikings send in 3 tight ends. It's Peterson, and he is stopped. Isaac Sopoaga celebrating as he comes out of the pile.
That's big because they didn't get any movement on Isaac Sopoaga. He stands his guy up at the line of scrimmage, sheds him. Watch number 90 control that line, shed the blocker, make the first hit on Adrian Peterson.
And they all keep their shoulders nice and square like you talked about, Dallin. They build a line, a wall on that line.
Fourth and goal for Minnesota. Off the fake, Ponder to the end zone, touchdown, Kyle Rudolph.
This is a heck of a play by Christian Ponder because they play it great. There's your backside contain, doesn't take the bite, forces him to backpedal. He's drifting, throwing. Look at that touch to Kyle Rudolph in the back of the end zone. That is a heck of a play by Christian Ponder.
Blair Walsh, the extra point. A 16-play drive. Leslie Frazier leaves the offense on the field on 4th down, 7-0 Vikings.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Terrific start for the Vikings before a home crowd. A 16-play, 82-yard drive. Go for it on 4th down. And Ponder hits Rudolph in the end zone.
I love the message that head coach Leslie Frazier sent at the start of this game, going for it on that 4th down.
Here's Kendall Hunter on the return for the Niners. Out to the 20. When we come back, our first look at Alex Smith and the Niners offense as Ponder celebrates.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go.
Back in Minneapolis, Kyle Rudolph, 4 receptions and a first quarter touchdown. Vikings lead 7-0. Now Alex Smith and the Niners go to work on offense. Frank Gore in the backfield, averaging over 100 yards per game. Off the fake, Smith hits Michael Crabtree. Off to a terrific start this season, and Crabtree gains 6 as we check out the Niners offense.
Well, I think that everything starts with these guys up front for San Francisco. Their mentality, everything it's a perfect fit for how they like to play offense. They start the running game, they're physical, will have some overloads, and then all of a sudden they jump to these guys and start throwing some play action. Michael Crabtree, healthy, confident, off to a great start this year.
Randy Moss returns to Minnesota, playing against the Vikings for the first time in his career. Second down and 4. Smith under pressure from Jared Allen, gets rid of it to Delaney Walker, but he is hit for a loss of a yard by the rookie free safety Harrison Smith.
Some good young guys on this Minnesota Vikings defense. Aaron Henderson is going to be out, so we're going to have a new linebacker there, but this front This front will control this game. Keep your eye on Jared Allen. You always have to have a plan for him. Marvin Mitchell gets the start for Aaron Henderson. And here's that young secondary. Harrison Smith, excellent. Mistrell Raymond, Antoine Winfield, the wily vet back there holds everything together.
Empty backfield for the Niners. 3rd down and 4. Smith over the middle. It's caught by the tight end Vernon Davis for a San Francisco first down out to the 38-yard line.
He just creates matchup problems. He's very, very athletic. He's very big. That's Antoine Winfield in the zone coverage. A good feel. Just getting that little bit of separation.
Davis gained 12. Quieted the crowd. New set of downs for the Niners. From the 38, the toss to Gore. Tried to cut back to the inside. Takes it to the outside. Forced out of bounds at the 42. Time for a game break to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, after Tony Romo was picked off on the opening drive for the Cowboys, the Bucs turned it into points. Josh Freeman to Luke Stalker, his first catch of the season, pushed the Bucs on top in Dallas, 7-0. Kenny Moose and Deuce.
This could be a tough one for the Dallas Cowboys. A very similar team, Tampa Bay, than the one that beat them last week in Seattle.
Bucs coming off the loss to the Giants, 2nd and 6. Smith fakes the inside handoff to Kendall Hunter. Now he throws, and it is off the hands of Randy Moss.
There was nobody around him on that one, and a lot of green after he would have caught in that ball. Watch Randy Moss here on a little easy crossing route. Nobody in the area. It was a little bit high, but Randy could catch that ball. He's good enough to catch that ball.
How strange is it to see number 84 in a different uniform in this dome? 3rd down and 6. Smith out of the shotgun, rolling right. Can't find anyone. Down he goes. Chad Greenway with his first sack of the season.
Well, you can see right now the plan for the San Francisco 49ers is to get Alex Smith on the move. Keep him outside of that pocket because of the pressure from the defensive ends. Chad Greenway does a great job. Shadows him. When he makes the decision, he commits, and he comes right at Alex Smith.
I'm surprised Alex Smith didn't just throw that ball out of bounds. He was out of the pocket. He could have got rid of it.
Pro Bowl punter Andy Lee. Terrific kick. Fair catch. Called for at the 20-yard line by Marcus Sherrills. The sack by Greenway ending the 49ers drive.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new 2013 Ford Escape. It's what happens when you go further. By Sprint. And by Internet Explorer. Welcome to a more beautiful web.
Vikings drive 16 plays and score on their opening drive, and then for the first time this season, they do not allow a score on their first offensive possession.
Yeah, the opening drive for the Vikings opponents, they've allowed them to go right down the field on extended drives. So getting rid of that, check that box for the Vikings defense this afternoon.
Loco.
Vikings start with an empty backfield from the 20-yard line. As Ponder throws over the middle, it's Patrick Willis on the coverage. He was looking for Kyle Rudolph.
To be able to have a drive like they did on the opening series, everybody's got to be in sync. You see that 16 plays on that opening drive. Haven't done that since back in November of '06.
Ponder on 2nd and 10. And the catch is made by Percy Harvin. It's ruled that he stepped out of bounds, but he picks up a Minnesota first down at the 44-yard line, a 24-yard connection.
Now, he can just do so many things. You know, as a defensive player, you have to be so aware of where he's at. This time he's coming out of the slot, working against Terrell Brown. A great release. Carlos Rogers has Carlos off balance. right away on that release. We've seen him on the fake end around, out of the slot, little bubble screens.
Look to get the ball in Harvin's hands any way they can. This is Peterson, and he's hit for a loss back at the 43-yard line by Patrick Willis. They were both drafted in 2007. Peterson, the leading rusher in the NFL since that time, and Willis, the leading tackler.
Well, don't let him get started. That's the most important thing, and that's textbook. You can see how he wraps up his legs. Adrian can't go anywhere if you got somebody wrapped around his legs.
Peterson drafted 7th overall. Willis 4 picks later.
Christian Ponder doing a nice job on the line of scrimmage of changing plays and putting his offense in the best play that he can think of.
On 2nd and 10, the delayed handoff. And Peterson brought down by Aldon Smith.
I think one of the things you're going to see during the course of the afternoon, and the reason why this San Francisco 49er defense is so good against the run, is how they tackle. In my opinion, the best tackling team in the NFL. They don't miss many at all during the course of the game.
Third down and 8. Vikings must get to the Niners 46. Ponder hit as he throws. And the throw sails out of bounds. It was Aldon Smith, 14 sacks as a rookie last year, who came with the pressure on Ponder.
Going to run a little stunt back to the inside, Tony, with 99.
Yep, that's a little tackle upfield and up underneath. And the offensive line does not see him coming around there, Aldon Smith.
You know who helps that out? Justin Smith, number 94, got a good grab on Charlie Johnson, the left guard. He was trying to come off, but Justin Smith wouldn't let him.
Well, that wasn't really a grab. It was just a little tug.
That's how you look at it, Goose.
Absolutely.
There's Chris Kluwe punting for the first time. Taken at the 18 by Kyle Williams. Williams up the middle. Good return out to the 35. 17-yard return by Williams. Harrison Smith brought him down. Good starting field position for Alex Smith and the Niners. Jared Allen led the NFL in sacks last year with 22, looking for his first of 2012.
Cozying up to the official right there, you know, making sure that he gets some of those calls to go his way.
Always good to make friends early.
Just in case he's right on the snap count.
Niners start from the 35-yard line. Smith looking to throw on first down. It's complete. Mario Manningham tried to cut it back. And Goose, you talked about Manningham and Moss, the weapons added by San Francisco during the offseason. Manningham made one of the plays of the Super Bowl back in February with the Giants. Late in the fourth quarter.
Unbelievable catch. And the addition of Mario Manningham and Randy Moss, it's going to pay dividends, but they are not going to change who they are. They're still going to establish their flow with that physical running game.
Second down and 4. Pass intended for Moss. Chris Cook on the coverage. And Smith took a hard hit from Jasper Brinkley, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, they're bringing a lot of pressure right now. Right in the middle. Watch right up the middle. Jasper Brinkley on a nice delayed blitz. The defensive line does a nice job of opening up a nice lane, like Darryl hinted to earlier. A little bit of a tug. Make a nice lane right there. Get pressure like that, it's going to affect every play.
Third down and 4, it's Crabtree. For Niners first down, interesting play selection. We just had a look at the graphic. Niners have run only once, and they've attempted to pass the ball 8 times.
Yeah, we keep talking about this physical running game, and it's been all Alex Smith. And there goes Michael Crabtree again. He was huge against Detroit last week on third down.
Smith 4 for 7. He was also sacked once. Extra blocker, Daniel Kilgore, in for the Niners. The toss to Gore, his second carry. And Gore is across midfield. He falls forward to the 48-yard line.
And I think there's going to be a little bit of a feeling out process with offensive coordinator Greg Roman going up against this defense. Minnesota's a little bit more multiple than they have been in the past with their coverages, with their fronts. He's got a lot of respect for the safeties on this Minnesota team. Harrison Smith, a young guy, but he was very complimentary of him being able to disguise and confusing the offense at the snap. He said he doesn't have those rookie fear of being out of position.
Quick release to Manningham on 2nd and 5, and Mario Manningham picks up another Niners first down. Out to the 42-yard line. It's Harrison Smith who finally brings him down.
Well, Mario Manningham's going to get the credit, but there's a guy on this offense that does all the dirty work and doesn't get a lot of mentions, and that's Delanie Walker. And he's one of your tight ends, and he's a great blocker at the line of scrimmage. You can put him outside and match him up, and he can give you some issues out there. And on that play right there, that little quick screen to the outside just does a great job covering up a defender and allowing Mario Manningham to get up the field.
Made some big catches last year as well. From the Vikings 41, off the fake to Gore. Smith moving to his left, and he'll awkwardly slide and then roll. Smith hoping that one does not show up on the highlight films.
Well, this one you're kind of rolling the dice. You're going hard, play action. Here's Jared Allen. You always got to worry about him. But you've only got one receiver down the field, and then you've got Bruce Miller as your outlet in the flat. And Minnesota defended it well, so there's nowhere for Alex Smith to go. That's one of those max protection. We're hoping the defense bites on this play action. Minnesota did not.
Time winding down, first quarter, 2nd and 10. Here's Gore running left. Gore still on his feet as he gets some help. He's pushed forward by the right guard, Alex Boone, picks up 11. And a Niners first down as this first quarter comes to an end in Minneapolis with the Niners on the move. Vikings out to a 7-0 lead. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages.
Well, one of those young safeties, Mistrell Raymond, being taken off the field on a cart right now with a lower leg injury. He's going to come up in run support, and he's going to plant his foot. It's going to get caught in that turf. And Frank Gore is going to get back inside. So, see right there as that reaches right away. Tough break for the Minnesota Vikings. Good young player.
Second season out of South Florida. Raymond replaced by Jamarcus Sanford, who started 15 games for the Vikings last year. As we begin the second quarter, Vikings lead 7-0. 49ers had not trailed at all over their first two games. 16-play, 82-yard drive by the Vikings to open this game. Kendall Hunter in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the Vikings 30. Smith to Hunter out of the backfield, and a nice tackle is made by Chad Greenway, who already has 2 sacks. He was credited with a sack moments ago on that play when Smith fell down and then rolled along. So Greenway with a pair of sacks and now a nice tackle on Hunter.
Yeah, he's one of the keys to this defense at that linebacker level. He's off to a good start this afternoon. Good in coverage. You saw the great decision on the earlier sack on Alex Smith when he was rolling out.
Greenway, a Pro Bowler last year, 2nd down and 8. Gore back in. Vernon Davis split to the right. Smith looking left. He throws, and it's Randy Moss. His first reception today, 960th of his career, and his first ever against the Minnesota Vikings.
A lot of cushion.
Yeah, well,
wow.
You know, even at this stage of his career, you know, Randy Moss is going to be able to run by a lot of people.
Yeah, you cannot give him a 5-yard cushion off the line of scrimmage. He's just too big of a guy. He's got too many tricks in his bag there. Comeback routes, little outs. He's definitely a target at Alex.
He picks up the first from the Vikings 20. Frank Gore up the middle, not much. Greenway again, along with Jasper Brinkley.
San Francisco 49ers showing that they can string together some positive plays, put a drive together. Play number 11 coming up right here on this drive.
Started at their own 35 following the nice punt return by Kyle Williams. Now Delaney Walker split out to the right. Second down and 8. Smith fires. Looking for Randy Moss in the end zone.
Kevin Williams comes free early, right in the face of Alex Smith, and could have affected this throw. Watch the big man right in the middle. Does a nice job, steps to his left, comes through clean. Doesn't get his hands up, but I'm sure Alex Smith felt that pressure down.
Well, he had to feel that pressure, Tony, because he missed Randy Moss. That was bad location. Randy Moss had beaten Chris Cook to the pylon. He's just got to put that ball out a little bit closer to the sideline. That's an easy touchdown.
Third down and 8. Smith on third down throws. The catch is made by Williams, but not enough. Stopped about a yard shy of the marker.
See what Coach Harbaugh decides to do.
He will send out the field goal unit. Vikings scored their touchdown back in the first quarter on 4th and goal from the 1. Jim Harbaugh on 4th and 1 from the 11 will send out David Akers, who set numerous NFL records last season. All 3 of these guys were Pro Bowlers a year ago. The holder, Andy Lee's got a bit of a right hand issue. 29-yard attempt from the right hash. And for Akers, who hit from 63 earlier this season, it's a chip shot. So the Niners are on the board here in Minneapolis. '49ers drive 13 plays, settle for a field goal. Trail the Vikings 7-3.
And we always talk about halftime adjustments during the course of a game, but you can see it goes on after every series, and Alex Smith is getting together with the coaches over there trying to find out some coverage things. He's missed a couple of open receivers today, both 2 times to Randy Moss.
Gene Crisp, quarterback's coach, looking at the photos with Harbaugh and Smith. When we return, Adrian Peterson and the Vikings offense, they'll start from their own 20.
Today's game is sponsored by Taken 2, starring Liam Neeson. The man with a particular set of skills is back. By the all-new Dodge Dart. Dodge, new rules. And by Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Darryl, I know you always enjoy watching the youngsters play prior to the Vikings games here in the Dome.
Oh, they're out warming up before pregame, and then they get a little bit in before the game starts.
We got started right there, right there.
It's had some big plays today.
Yeah, huge plays. A lot of throwing, too.
Vikings start from their own 20-yard line. Ponder with time can't find anyone downfield. And then he is chased down by Ahmad Brooks after gaining a couple.
It's good that Christian Ponder went and protected that ball. I don't think he saw Brooks or felt Brooks coming from behind him. Watch right here. He doesn't see anything downfield. His feet are moving. Tucks the ball in nice, because if it's out, Brooks is going to go and attack that ball. It could be a turnover.
And the Niners, Tony, very adept at forcing turnovers. 38 takeaways a season ago, tied for the league lead. Ponder on 2nd and 8, moving to his left. Again, can't find anyone downfield. And he runs for a first down. He crosses the 30 out to the 31-yard line.
He doesn't have anywhere to go with the ball down the field. Here's Terrell Brown on Michael Jenkins. You can see Navarro Bowman on John Carlson. Backside, Stephen Burton's covered. So he's got to pull that down, because protection was starting to break down. And when you got Justin Smith chasing you, you got to make a quick decision.
And Ponder made the right decision, picks up a first down. With the Vikings leading 7-3 from the 31, it's Peterson. And he gets followed up after a short gain by Ray McDonald.
Always enjoy talking to Dante Whitner when we do a San Francisco 49er game. He's got a great perspective on what they have to do defensively, and I like the way he talked about the challenge with Adrian Peterson. He's a cutback runner, so the backside always has to be aware that if it's not there right away, he's going to be able to come backside. And we've already seen the jump cuts that he's used earlier today. San Francisco's doing a nice job of staying home and not allowing those lanes on the backside.
On 2nd and 9 off the fake to Peterson. Ponder throws, and it is Peterson out of the backfield and picks up a Vikings first down out to the 44-yard line, gain of 12.
I can understand there being some frustration from Viking fans because they're not stretching the field offensively, but Christian Ponder is making really good decisions through the first 2 weeks of the season, and he's continuing to do that this afternoon. He's pulled it down and been very effective, running with it when there's been nothing there. He's checking the ball down. He's going to be patient. Eventually, he's going to have that opportunity for a shot down, and that's when Coach Bill Musgrave will dial something up for him.
Harvin in the backfield. Off the fake to Percy Harvin. Ponder chased by Alden Smith. He throws, and coming back to make the catch for another first down is Devin Aroma-Shadu. His first reception today, gains 13.
Receivers are doing a nice job when the pressure's on and Ponder's out of the pocket, scrambling around and moving and getting open.
Well, this is dangerous right here, Tony. That's a lot of confidence, not only in your ability, but that Devin Aroma-Shadu is going to be there.
Throwing across his body, too.
Back into the middle of the field. Yeah. Very dangerous.
Aroma-Shadu, the former Chicago Bear. New set of downs for the Vikings. From the 43, it's Peterson running hard up the middle. Down to the 36-yard line. Peterson gains 7.
It's nice when you have a backfield that can go and get 7 yards on first down. Huh? That really sets up a lot for the offense coordinator. He can go into his bag of tricks and pretty much pull out anything here on 2nd down.
I mean, you got to give hats off to this Vikings offensive line. This is a very, very tough San Francisco defense against the run. They're doing very well here so far.
Nice push up.
125! 125! 153! Hey, kill!
Ponder changed the play, hands it off to Peterson. And Peterson is close to another Vikings first down.
Conservative play for 2nd down and 3, huh, Darryl? I thought that they would maybe take a shot downfield. We're waiting for them to open this field up a little bit with some downfield throws. That was a perfect opportunity to go and take a shot. They opt to go and just give the ball to Adrian Peterson to get the first down.
Peterson 13 carries, 32 yards. This time he stumbles as he takes the handoff from Ponder and loses a couple.
That might be a tackle for Christian Ponder right there. Looked like they tangled some feet. See if the quarterback and Adrian Peterson. Yep, little click.
Peterson out, Toby Gerhart in. Gerhart starred for Jim Harbaugh at Stanford. 2nd down and 13. Harvin, he stumbles. And is tackled at the 35-yard line by Navarro Bowman.
There's that attention to detail, opportunities to make plays. We've got the quarterback and the running back bumping into each other on first down. Now we've got a play set up on the outside. Percy Harvin loses his feet, loses his balance. The little things can stall a drive very quickly.
Leading to this down, 3rd down and 11. Vikings must get to the 23 on the 10th play of this drive. And they do, as the catch is made for a first down by Aroma-Shadu.
Nice field to get into that open spot in coverage. Watch Devin Aroma-Shadu. Got some zone coverage. You press Terrell Brown, get that head snapped around quick, and you're moving away from Deshaun Goldson. You can see 38, the safety, reading the quarterback, breaking on the ball. But it was a good job by Devin Aroma-Shadu of finding that soft spot.
Ponder very efficient. He's 11 of 15. Came into the game leading the league in completion percentage. On first down, a pump fake, and now he takes off. And Ponder is inside the 10, the 5. He dives and is in for a touchdown.
Very, very good with his decision making today. Very quick, very decisive. Comes out, they've got a little pump and go screen. He doesn't like the way it looks, and he is gone. Decides to tuck it down, break through, and right here at the end, once that ball breaks the plane, it's a touchdown. See if his knees, he breaks the plane before that knee gets down. They'll take a look at it upstairs on a scoring play just to make sure it's correctly called on the field.
That's right, all scoring plays are reviewed. Touchdown has been confirmed. Walsh with the extra point. 14-3 Vikings. As Ponder runs it in from 23 yards out.
Nice decision by Christian Ponder. They're trying to get John Carlson, who's going to go in motion on a wheel route on this little pump screen. So he's going to go out, fake like he's going to block. Patrick Willis takes him. That means the middle of the field is open. Right, Tony? You got Patrick Willis out of there. You can only have one other linebacker there.
Only one other linebacker. That's what he saw. Great decision of just going and taking it. Offensive line does a nice job also of sticking with their guys.
Kendall Hunter takes it out for the Niners. Hunter across the 20 to the 24-yard line. So Christian Ponder and the Minnesota Vikings out to a 14-3 lead. Celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with the NFL. Visit NFL.com/Espanol. Official Spanish language home of the NFL for game highlights, fantasy football, and a first look at your team's Hispanic Heritage Month celebration.
Andrew Sendejo, the Minnesota Vikings.
Tell you what, the Vikings have really eaten that clock up.
From the 24, Gore gains 3.
Well, it's just been an interesting start to this game offensively for the 49ers. We've talked about their physical running game and how they like to come out and establish everything. And if you're not, you get into a situation like this. 32 plays for Minnesota, only 19 for San Francisco. And, 12 of those have been passes. So, that was only Frank Gore's 5th touch of the game right now. He's the guy that you want to get on a roll. So I know they're trying to feel out and see what the plan is for Minnesota, but they're getting away from what they do best right now.
Low snap, second down and 7. Smith's pass is batted down. He was looking for Vernon Davis. Kevin Williams got a piece of it.
Well, that's what defensive linemen want to do. You have nobody in the backfield. You know it's going to be a pass. Keep your eyes on the quarterback. When he sets, get your hands up, elevate, and try to affect the play. That's when you're going to get turnovers. You tip the ball, that secondary, everybody's concentrating on the ball. It's a great job by Kevin Williams in the middle.
Third down and 7.
You see Everson Griffin, number 97, that's a defensive lineman roaming through that front.
Smith on third down throws, and the catch is made for a first down. Michael Crabtree out to the 36.
Well, he is off to a great start. He has been excellent this season on third down. Great hands. And, we've all been waiting for Michael Crabtree to have the kind of start to a season that he's had this year. He's battled some injuries. He had some issues his rookie year with the contract, slowed his progression down that year, but he's finally healthy this year. He understands the offense. He's getting confidence every week in his abilities.
His fourth season, Darryl, he had never played in a preseason game prior to this year due to the holdout and then the injuries. From the 36, the toss to Kendall Hunter, and he is stuffed. Jasper Brinkley along with Antoine Winfield, Fred Evans there as well, a loss of 4.
Well, they're trying to take advantage of a fast Minnesota front. So this is going to be a toss that leads you this way, but we're going to come back and try and run like a power. And they just don't do a good job of blocking it. Number one up front, Jasper Brinkley comes right through the middle, and then you've got your support on the outside with Josh Robinson.
Gore in the backfield, second down and 15. Smith running away from Jared Allen. Can't find anyone. And dives out across the 40-yard line.
There's Jared Allen again. He knows he has one-on-one pass rush on the outside with Joe Staley. Keep an eye. He's going to come upfield. Joe's going to give him the inside lane. He's going to go and club him inside. But if you don't get up there, or if you don't have your tackle on the backside covering you on that, the quarterback's going to be able to come out every time, especially when you get a guy like Alex Smith that has some feet.
Smith picked up 9, now third down and 5. Smith over the middle, complete for a first down and more. Vernon Davis into Vikings territory, needed 5 and he gained 13.
This Minnesota defense not able to get off the field on this drive. They're forcing the 49ers into these third downs, but the Niners are stepping up and making plays.
You can't just play really good on 2 downs. Got to finish it off.
Clock winding down as we approach the 2-minute warning. Niners unable to get the snap away. So with 2 minutes remaining in the first half here in Minneapolis, 49ers on the move. They trail by 11.
Today's game is sponsored by Visa. Make your season epic with Visa NFL fan offers.
Back in Minneapolis, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa, 2 minutes remaining, second quarter. Vikings with 2 drives of 80-plus yards lead the Niners 14-3. From the Minnesota 46. Frank Gore up the middle.
I just think they need to get more touches to Frank Gore. He's not just from a production standpoint, but he's one of those guys that's kind of the emotional heart and soul of the team. And you get him going, he gets excited, and that becomes infectious on this offense. He just hasn't had an opportunity to get into a rhythm here in the first half.
Only 6 carries for Gore. Smith on second down and 3, complete for a first down to Michael Crabtree. And Jim Harbaugh immediately out on the field to signal timeout with 1:20 remaining. And the Vikings leading
timeout
by 11.
San Francisco.
Today's game is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy S3. The next big thing is already here.
A thrilling season comes down to the wire, and this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, we'll bring you the games that could determine playoff positions. The Rays will take on the White Sox in Chicago, plus other games with postseason implications. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. 2 timeouts remaining for the Niners. 1:20 on the clock, first half. From the Vikings 33. Smith to the near side for Moss. Moss forced out of bounds by Antoine Winfield after a gain of 7.
Still a lot of respect for Randy Moss, Tony. That cushion is still out there, even with Antoine Winfield.
Yeah, it's amazing that they're giving him that much room to go and work.
Second reception for Moss today. Now 2nd down and 3. Smith steps up, spun around by Allen, and then throws it away.
That is so frustrating as a defensive lineman. Jared Allen gets a great pass rush, but can't get enough on Alex Smith. Watch him here on the outside. He goes, he has the edge. He wraps up, he has his foot. He won't let his foot go. That's why Alex Smith can't go and get that ball off. But not enough to go and get him down on the ground to get that sack.
Got goose. Jared Allen still in search of that elusive first sack of the season.
Got close a couple times last week against Andrew Luck. Close again this week, but still doesn't have that first one.
3rd down and 3. Niners must get to the 23 for a first down. And they will not, as Delaney Walker is tackled by Chad Greenway, who now has 8 tackles in the first half, and the Vikings will call timeout, stop the clock with 1 minute remaining. What's coming up momentarily on the Visa Halftime Report?
All right, coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll have highlights of a busy Week 3 in the NFL, including the Saints trying to get their first win of the season, and another big day shaping up for Reggie Bush as the Dolphins welcome Tim Tebow back to Florida. Sorry, guys, we're obligated to mention him as much as possible. See you at halftime.
I think we got to wake Michael Strahan up. He's working too hard.
What's he doing, man? Going back and forth, you know, him and Kelly, and then, you know, coming back here on the weekends. It's only Week 3, right, Darryl?
Ah, you gotta get Jimmy to give a little elbow in the side there.
Needs a little coffee.
Kurt was all fired up.
Yeah.
Kurt
How he's studying. Jimmy's thinking about getting back to Florida and going fishing, and Mike's catching a catnap.
Sailfish are running down there for Jimmy.
So here's David Akers, who hit from 29 earlier. This will be a 43-yard attempt from the right hash. Michael's still celebrating that Jared Allen did not break his single-season sack record last year. Akers' kick is blocked.
I wonder who blocked it.
I think it was Fred Evans. Troy Guion celebrating.
See how the hold is with Andy Lee working on that thumb. That's a lot cleaner than the first one. That's some good pressure. That's a little backhanded swat away by LaTroy Guion.
Nice surge there in the middle. I mean, look how far they get in. Right to where the angle of that kick is. Those defensive linemen got some long arms, some big paws.
Guion got a paw on it. Evans was right there. Matt Khalil, who blocked an extra point 2 weeks ago. Those 3 Vikings all bunched up in the middle. So the score remains 14-3. Minnesota as Ponder finds Michael Jenkins on the outside.
This defense has got to be able to respond in this quick change scenario with the blocked field goal. You saw Minnesota prior to that call the timeout to reserve some time. They've got 2 timeouts with 47 here, and they've got a kicker who's been booming some this year as a rookie.
This is something they worked on in the offseason, 2-minute drill and this exact situation here, so you think they'd be prepared.
From the 41, Ponder able to get rid of it, and Gerhardt unable to make the catch. He felt Carlos Rogers coming. Third down and 2 coming up for Minnesota. Christian Ponder, 12 for 17, 1 touchdown pass and the first touchdown run of his career.
Yeah, but good decisions all first half.
2 timeouts remaining for the Vikings. Third down and 2. Gerhardt makes the catch and picks up the Vikings first down. And now Minnesota will use their second timeout with 37 seconds remaining. Now you talked about the Vikings rookie field goal kicker out of Georgia, Blair Walsh. He's hit 2 from 50 plus over the first 2 weeks, but in the first half today it's to Christian Ponder.
Yeah, they haven't needed Blair Walsh yet. They've been scoring touchdowns. And this is just a heck of a play by Christian Ponder. Right-handed quarterback moving left, drifting backwards, hits Kyle Rudolph in stride. And on this one, they were trying to set up a little wheel route, which is kind of out and up to John Carlson. San Francisco defends it well. He makes a very quick decision, gets up the field and into the end zone for a touchdown.
So with 37 seconds on the clock, new set of downs for the Vikings. They have 1 timeout remaining. And they must go about 18 yards to get into field goal range for Blair Walsh. Ponder in trouble, throws it away. So now 31 seconds remaining. Second quarter with the Vikings leading the Niners 14-3. Ponder on 2nd and 10. Too far, looking for Jenkins.
Good coverage on that, though. That was a double move on the outside. Chris Culliver not fooled on that one. Watch at the top of your screen. Little slant and go. Good adjustment, good positioning.
So now 3rd down and 10, 26 seconds remaining in the half. Ponder chased by Aldon Smith. Ponder with the soft throw, and the catch is made for a first down by Toby Gerhardt, with Navarro Bowman all over him. Gain of 14 for Gerhardt. Vikings use their final timeout.
Timeout, Minnesota.
Well, we've talked about his decision making, but his throwing on the run this afternoon has been very impressive in the first half. You saw the touchdown to Kyle Rudolph. This one, when he let it go, I'm like, oh boy, in this situation, you're going to float one into the middle of the field. This is just great touch to hit Toby Gerhardt. He's covered well by Navarro Bowman.
You know, and this is right where they want to be. You know, Blair Walsh, the rookie kicker, talked to him before the game. He feels like he is strong from 60+ out. So they could be in field goal range right here. We're going to see.
Well, they have no timeouts, Goose. 15 seconds remaining. And from this spot, it would be a 57-yard attempt. Walsh has hit from 55 and 51 in his first 2 NFL games.
They're talking to a couple of the coaches, too, in camp, training camp. He hit one from 70, so this kid's got a strong leg.
To say the least. From the 39, no timeouts remaining for the Vikings. As Ponder fires downfield, and it's nearly picked off by Chris Culliver. So with 9 seconds on the clock, 2nd down and 10. And you've been very impressed with the improvements Ponder has made throughout the offseason into this regular season.
I really have, but you got away with one right there. Don't feel the pressure from people that want to see the ball down the field more. You've got some built in. That was another double move, but you got to be smart. San Francisco expects it. They're going to play it well. Don't give up an opportunity for points. You just heard Tony talk about Blair Walsh and what his range is. You're in there right now. I think the biggest thing for Christian Ponder this year was the offseason, and not really so much the study and understanding the offense, getting to hang around his teammates and get to know him a little bit better.
Niners call timeout.
Timeout, San Francisco. Will be a 30-second timeout.
San Francisco with 1 timeout remaining. Well, all new comedy returns with the premiere of the new Fox Tuesday. America's Favorite Roommates are back with New Girls 2-episode premiere. Plus, we've got 2 of the best new comedies of the fall season with Ben and Kate and the Mindy Project. A night of all new comedy returns this Tuesday on Fox. And Darryl, getting back to Ponder, he told us the offseason was huge for him, watched a lot of film on himself, and spent that time with his teammates getting to know them better. Leslie Frazier knows that Blair Walsh can connect from this range. from the 39. Harvin must get out of bounds, and he does.
There's some little things that we talked about at the top. You saw the way that San Francisco defended. They were going to leave the middle of the field open for Percy Harvin, but he knows he can't. He's either got to score a touchdown or this half is going to end. So watch the decision right here. I'm going straight to the outside, and look at all the defenders there waiting for him, but he knows to have this attempt at the field goal, he had to get out of bounds.
No Vikings kicker has hit from 50-plus 3 consecutive games in franchise history. This a 52-yard attempt from the right hash. Rookie Blair Walsh is in the record books. Walsh connects from 52 yards out as the first half comes to an end. Vikings lead 17-3. As we head to Los Angeles, Kurt Menefee and the gang for the Visa Halftime Report. Guys, take it away. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. We get ready for the second half. Vikings lead the 49ers 17-3. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston. San Francisco 13-3 last year. Minnesota 3-13. What surprised you the most today?
The way that Minnesota has performed offensively and kept the flow of the game on their side, and you saw the blocked field goal. So all 3 phases for Minnesota in that first half, very, very functional as a team. Block the field goal, your offense is controlling the flow, limiting San Francisco's offense to kind of get that running game going. Everything feeds off of that. They're not allowing that to happen, and when Minnesota's defense is out there, they're doing a nice job. So, I agree with the guys at halftimes. It's kind of a flip. Minnesota is playing the way that we expected San Francisco to play.
Howie Long said during the Visa Halftime Report, Vikings defense looks like the 49ers defense. Michael Strahan last week said the 49ers are the best team in football. Kyle Williams on the return, and Williams is across midfield, down the sideline, cuts to the inside, and is finally tackled by Jamarcus Sanford at the 15-yard line. 94-yard return by Williams.
I want you to watch the elevation on this kick. It's not very high, so the fact that Kyle Williams takes it 9 yards deep is kind of negated because it got there so quick. Look at the lane. Now, do some of the coverage guys think that that's gone deep enough where he's going to take a knee? Something happened there because they opened up a huge lane on the left side of that Vikings coverage unit. There he is, Delaney Walker. We talked about him in the first half. There he is on special teams, hustling down the field.
From the 14-yard line of the Vikings, the handoff to Kendall Hunter, who gains 3.
I had a chance to talk with Leslie Frazier going in, and this is exactly what he wanted to talk to his team about. This team went to the NFC Championship game last year. We have to put the pedal down, put the pressure on these guys, and we can't let up big plays. This is exactly not the situation he wanted his team in early in the second half.
Following that 94-yard kickoff return by Kyle Williams. Thanks, Goose. 2nd and 7. Gore in the backfield. Inside handoff to Frank Gore. And he gains 4 down to the 7-yard line.
Frank Gore only 6 touches in the first half. See if they can get that fixed out. But Leslie Frazier, as Tony said, what a just rough start for a team that played so well in that first half in all 3 phases. Defense trying to get this crowd involved. They need them right now.
3rd down and 3. Smith rolling right. And he is hit hard by Winfield. Stopped a yard shy of the marker.
Antoine Winfield, throughout his career, has been one of the more physical corners in the NFL. So even as a quarterback, when you're going to take this gentleman on right here, he's not going to shy away from contact, plays everything right, finds his way through. Look, it gets around Frank Gore, and it puts a good hit on Alex Smith to keep him short.
Jim Harbaugh leaves his offense on the field. And the clock winds all the way down. So a timeout taken by the Niners, and now Jim Harbaugh
Penalty remains, fourth down.
sent out the field goal unit. He attempted to call timeout, but it was not awarded as the play clock ran all the way down to 0. So the ball will be spotted on the 11 following the penalty. Remember, Akers' last attempt was blocked. Made 68 straight from inside 30. This a 29-yard attempt from the right hash.
See if they can get that push in the middle.
Akers from 29 yards out. The kick is good. But the 49ers held to just 3 following the Williams return.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the new Droid Razr M by Motorola. Say hello to the full screen phone. By Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by Lexus. Introducing a stunning work of technology. The entirely new Lexus ES.
Back in Minneapolis with the Vikings leading 17-6.
Ever come to Minnesota, on every menu and every restaurant is the walleye, and that's where they get it right there in that last picture you saw. Kenny Albert liked it, right, Kenny?
Absolutely. Take all your recommendations at our Friday night dinners, Tony.
Thank you.
Harvin takes it out. Percy Harvin tripped up as he crosses the 25-yard line by Parrish Cox.
This is a good job by Parrish Cox because Percy Harvin is full speed. Not wrapping up, but at least he's knocking him down. There he is again, Delaney Walker. We saw him leading Kyle Williams on the kickoff return unit, and there he is in coverage, making a tackle.
Line 25. Hey, kill.
Vikings start from their own 27-yard line. Ponder hands off to Adrian Peterson, cuts back to the inside, and gains 4 to the 31.
Did a nice job in the first half, you know, committing to the run, staying with the run. You see right there, 15 touches for Adrian Peterson in the running game. A lot of production? No. He's just a little bit over 2 yards per carry. But you stay with that. Then that allows Christian Ponder to work the play action where they've had a lot of success in the passing game.
Peterson's long run has been 7.
Line 25. Yeah, we're good. Down 20.
On 2nd and 6, it's Peterson again. Into the arms of Navarro Bowman, who led the 49ers in the first half with 10 tackles.
4 guys to take down Adrian Peterson on that time.
4 big guys, Justin Smith, Navarro Bowman. I mean,
there's the wrap up.
Here comes Patrick Willis.
Bowman trying to get the ball out.
They're just trying to gang tackle. He's still not going down until they go and wrap his legs up. East right there.
3rd down and 2. Ponder's throw out of bounds. Looking for Peterson. It was Bowman on the coverage, so the Vikings 3 and out for the first time. Another return opportunity here for Kyle Williams. Louis punting for only the second time today. Terrific kick, fair catch is called for by Williams back at the 14-yard line. Early third quarter, Vikings by 11. We honor the life of one of the most instrumental men off the field in National Football League history. Steve Sable, who passed away earlier this week, honored before every Week 3 game with a video tribute.
Now, you become a fan of the game of football because of your team, but I really think for me, what NFL Films did and Steve Sable's vision, the iconic imagery that he created, the pictures, really was what hooked me as a fan of this game.
49ers started their last drive on the Vikings 14. Now from their own 14-yard line, it's complete to Michael Crabtree. And Darryl, I thought Brett Favre had a great line this week. He said, Steve changed the face of the NFL without ever playing a down.
It's a great quote, and he really did. He's built the fan base. He's created the interest in the game. You know, the imagery, the music that he paired with the imagery was awesome. I've always loved the music scores that NFL Films use in their pieces.
You know, I had a chance to work with Steve with Hard Knocks, the first series in the year after he won the Super Bowl, and I'll tell you what, the guy left an impression on everybody that he spoke with, and that was a great job he did with that.
Terrific memories. He certainly will be missed as Frank Gore picks up a first down for the Niners. Early third quarter, Vikings led 17-3 at the half. Kyle Williams, a 94-yard return of the opening kickoff here in the second half, led to a David Akers field goal. Frank Gore today, 8 carries, 42 yards. He has set a new franchise record for carries by a Niner, eclipsing Roger Craig. Will Tukuafu, number 92, is out with the offense as the pass is caught for a first down by Randy Moss for a gain of 12.
And that's the area that's going to be open when you have Will Tukuafu leading up into the hole on play action. I mean, the linebackers have to come up and respect that, so Randy Moss gets in that little void and then takes a big hit at the end of that.
Like his knee got caught up underneath him. He's all right.
Tukuafu remains in as the fullback, number 92. With Tukuafu leading the way, he opens up a big hole for Frank Gore. It's another Niners first down.
And now we're starting to see what we thought we were going to see in the first half. And Jared Allen calls these, you know, the bully running game of the San Francisco 49ers. You bring in a defensive lineman and you're going to motion across your tight end. Watch to the right of your screen. It's block down, kick out, lead through. That's the bully run. When you've got big bodies coming at you and you're just trying to punch a hole, it's counters, it's ISOs, it's downhill runs. And Frank Gore has got great quick feet. If you miss, you got a big run on your hands.
New set of downs for the Niners from the Vikings 48. Smith moving to his left. Now he throws wide open as Manningham for a first down to the Vikings 31. 17-yard pass play.
And now you're starting to get him off balance. Mario Manningham coming in motion. Is going to be a crack? Are they going to toss? Little play action, get in behind. That's a nice little adjustment right there. Jasper Brinkley dropping in coverage. You cut in front of him. And if you're going to be able to throw the ball, you got to have a plan for number 69. They've been frustrating him all afternoon.
Vernon Davis split wide to the left. From the Vikings 31. Kyle Williams makes the catch. Knocked out of bounds at the 22, a gain of 9.
Well, they're starting to get the tempo back that they had early in the game, Darryl, with moving the ball, getting in there, quick passes, establishing the run, and it makes it also hard on those defensive linemen. When you establish the run, that little play action freezes up and gives you more time as a quarterback to sit back there in the pocket. That's exactly what is happening with Alex Smith.
Goose Niners have sent in 3 extra blockers. Tukuafu, Leonard Davis, and Daniel Kilgore, the jumbo package that we heard about on the pregame show from Howie Long.
Leonard Davis might be the biggest group of guys I have ever, or the biggest guy I have ever seen. And, you know, here they are across the board. You know, they're just, you know, these are all big bodies right through here. And there's your tight end at the end, Vernon Davis. He becomes the little guy in that entire group, and he's a pretty big physical guy himself.
That's the super duper bully package right there with all those guys.
We gotta come up with something bigger than jumbo.
Man.
From the Vikings 21, Smith, Vernon Davis, and Davis makes the catch. He is out of bounds at the 1.
This is nice touch by Alex Smith, 85. Vernon Davis, this is the same thing we saw last week against Detroit. He drops it right in over the top on Jamarcus Sanford. Harrison Smith a little bit late getting over there to help out. Not a lot of room for error for Alex Smith on that throw. Well done.
Jumbo package back in. Tukuafu, Kilgore, and Leonard Davis. First and goal from the 1, end zone, touchdown, Vernon Davis.
San Francisco got lucky on that because Daniel Kilgore came across in motion and he was leaning forward. Watch 67 as he comes across. That little lean right there. San Francisco got away with one.
So the jumbo package effective during this drive, and Vernon Davis reaches the end zone for the 4th time this season. Akers the extra point. 49ers pull to within 4.
Jared Allen talking to the trainer for the Minnesota Vikings right there. We'll keep an eye on the Vikings next time that defense comes out.
There's Vernon Davis. So the 49ers start their last drive on their own 14-yard line and drive 86 yards. They started their prior drive on the Vikings 14 and went 3 and out. Who could figure? Harvin fields it up high and then takes it out. And he is stopped shy of the 15-yard line.
Well, still working on Jared Allen. Now they're getting some of that icy hot on his neck, and it sounds like he's talking about his range of motion just isn't where he's comfortable. You see him turn his left to his left and say, this is about as far as I can go. So looks like he got a strain.
Keep our eye on Allen. Hispanic Heritage Month in the National Football League. Vikings start from their own 14-yard line, leading by 4. Ponder rolling right, can't find anyone, and then dives out to the 18-yard line. He gains 4.
Yeah, I like the decision making, but the one part about the decision is you can always do the hook slide at the end of this. And again, we've got good coverage. Deshaun Goldson coming up on Michael Jenkins right there. They got Kyle Rudolph, who's been quiet since that opening drive, but we can start going feet first if we want to.
Ready?
Now Ponder on 2nd and 6. Taken out to the 25-yard line by Percy Harvin for a Vikings first down. Call ** NFL to download NFL Mobile now and get coverage of every NFL game. Week 3, 49ers won their first 2. Vikings split their first 2 games. Vikings leading today by 4. From the 25, play action. Ponder pulls it back in, backpedaling, and then throws. Peterson, the intended receiver, Justin Smith with the pressure on Ponder.
Hats off to this San Francisco secondary because they're doing a heck of a job in coverage. This is just 4 guys rushing, trying to push that pocket. Christian Ponder has some time, moves around a little bit to extend it, but all that is due to the secondary and the linebackers of this 49ers group. They've been very good in coverage here in the second half.
Yeah, it looks like Minnesota's gotten away from the run a little bit more. San Francisco's starting the run more, so I don't know.
Bit of a role reversal goose here in the second half, 2nd and 10. Peterson up the gut. Ball came loose. Percy Harvin, and now a flag is thrown. Harvin covers fumble.
Well, this has been one of the criticisms of the replacement officials, that when tempers get heated on the field, that they've been losing control. They did a good job there getting everybody separated very quickly.
That ball is out before his knee is down, so that is a fumble. Percy Harvin does a nice job of seeing the ball and getting on it.
Mentioned this crew worked the Monday night game. They called a combined 18 penalties on the Broncos and Falcons. Up until this point, only 2 accepted penalties today.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. San Francisco, 15 yards from the end of the line, automatic first down.
Well, we didn't get a number on it. I know that Charlie Johnson was involved with it from Minnesota. They got him out.
Percy Harvin looks like he's down, and I don't know if that's a penalty right there. It looks like later on, a couple guys jumping in the pile.
Some extracurricular activity. Ken Rowe did not announce a number. Vikings gained 15 thanks to the flag, and now another marker is thrown as Peterson takes it to the Niners 47.
Way to go, Kenny, and talk about no flags this afternoon.
2 up until that point, now 2 on consecutive plays.
Thanks, Kenny.
We had a nice rhythm going, Kenny.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
He has to announce the number. That's the 3rd time that Ken Rowe did not announce the uniform number of the penalized player.
Here's one of the things that I think about when you talked about the number Monday night. There's a rhythm in the NFL that all these teams like to get into, and we've been in that rhythm up until this series. When you start calling all these penalties, you know, that sometimes you don't, you can let go, or it's not a part of the play, it has an impact on it. You keep that rhythm that you're trying to establish.
That was the first Vikings penalty today. Potter does a good job giving his receivers time to get open, and it's Percy Harvin who makes the catch in Niners territory.
Christian Ponder does a nice job of finding Percy Harvin down the lane. But that offense, you know what? The offensive line did a nice job of blocking those guys up front and giving Christian Ponder a lot of time to look downfield.
It's a nice touch with Ahmad Brooks right at that level in between the throw, up and over his outstretched hand.
2nd down and 7. Harvin. First down for the Vikings. As we check in on the Saints and the Chiefs with Patrick O'Neill. Patrick.
All right, Kenny, thank you very much. In New Orleans, and it is the Big Easy. Jimmy Graham, touchdown from Drew Brees, and both these teams winless, but the Saints up on the Chiefs 17-6. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Jimmy Graham with the slam dunk as the Saints look for their first win. From the 38, it's Peterson, and he's tackled from behind by Patrick Willis.
This is an impressive drive right now by the Minnesota Vikings, because the second half started about as poorly as it could. You had the big kickoff return by Kyle Williams. The defense held to a field goal, but then San Francisco came right down the field for another touchdown. So Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator, and his group right now, this is a good response.
8th play of the drive, 2nd down and 7. Ponder to Peterson. Peterson pushes forward for a Vikings first down.
You know, Dale, you mentioned earlier how San Francisco tackles well. And they do. They get up Adrian Peterson right here. No problem early before he even gets to the first down. Wrapped up right there. Look at him drive his legs. He is not stopping. 2 hands on the ball, protecting. He better keep his head up, though. He doesn't want to get hurt right there. But you got 3 guys on him, but he just keeps driving his legs and gets the first down. You can see the yard marker in the background.
Off the fake to Peterson. Ponder fires a bit high. And a late hit, and there's a flag. Following the hit, Kyle Rudolph by Deshaun Goldson.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 38 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
No doubt about the uniform number this time.
No, look, Kyle Rudolph, number 82, he is given protection down the field as a defenseless player. He has to be able to catch, turn around, make a play common to the game. Now, I think that hit with a shoulder to the chest
Is legal, right?
is legal. Yeah. I think Deshaun Goldson actually stays within the confines of the rule right there. He didn't go to the head neck area with the helmet, shoulder, or forearm. He put the shoulder in the chest.
Hand off to Harvin on first down. Harvin takes it down to the 5.
I'll tell you what, if you look at the game clock, they are just chewing up the clock like they did in the first half. Tell you what, best defense for Minnesota is staying on offense. Look at that San Francisco offense on the sideline watching. Nice job of mixing it up with the run and the pass.
Yeah, the little packages, you know, they've got Percy Harvin has been big on this series. He's in the backfield right now. But I tell you what, Goose, the thing I really like about him, when he gets that ball, he's going north-south.
Second down and 1. Ponder's pass is caught. There is a flag. Pass was caught at the 4-yard line by Matt Asiata.
Look at me holding on the defense.
Holding, number 22 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Carlos Rogers.
Big thing is this is another first down. Carlos Rogers out here working against Stephen Burton. That's an easy call for the officials. Good job on the release by Stephen Burton.
First and goal from the 3. Peterson. Wow. Justin Smith, and he lost his helmet in the process.
It was a nice job of going and taking on the offensive lineman and then keeping his shoulders square and coming down the line of scrimmage. He's right there in the middle. Does a nice job. See how square he is? When you're square on the line of scrimmage, you can go either way. You can fight that pressure and also bait that running back to come in there. You do that, it makes it hard to go and run. Doesn't matter. Smith doesn't even need a helmet to go and make a tackle, Darryl. Defensive linemen are tough.
He's unbelievable.
He is, man.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves, boy. He is tough inside.
Finally getting some credit as of late. He's gone to the last 3 Pro Bowls, now in his 13th season. Third quarter comes to an end with the Vikings leading by 4. San Francisco 49ers did all the scoring in the third quarter to pull to within 4. We now begin the 4th. The Minnesota Vikings facing second and goal from the San Francisco 4-yard line. Peterson Peterson spinning, takes it down to the 2. And then Aldon Smith able to bring him down.
You know, Darryl, you talked about it earlier about the San Francisco defense, knowing that Adrian Peterson likes the cutback, but they just can't stop it. Watch right here. He goes, he's cutting back right there. Nice move, and then he just gets vertical, gains himself some yardage that I think any other back in the league might not have got.
Yeah, and the guy he shook in the hole was Dante Whitner, who's a pretty short tackler. And he's the one that told us they had to be good on the backside.
He did.
Now 3rd and goal from the 2. Ponder floats one up into the end zone. And the catch is made for a touchdown by Kyle Rudolph, his 2nd today.
I tell you, Christian Ponder has made some throws under duress during the course of this game, and this is another one. They're kind of releasing everybody, letting that pressure come in.
What a grab, one-handed grab right there, huh?
Dante Whitner wants offensive pass interference at the end, might have a legitimate claim. Or you could call him on defensive pass interference.
Look at Adrian Peterson, though, on the left-hand side. Nobody even covered him when he came out of the backfield. He was wide open.
Walsh with the extra point.
Great response by the Minnesota Vikings. Looked like that game might be slipping away. What a huge drive for the touchdown.
What a comeback it has been for Adrian Peterson. Celebrated New Year's in the hospital following his surgery.
Knowing how difficult that new year was going to be going through this rehab process, but I tell you what, if anyone could do it, it was going to be that man right there.
Jim Harbaugh was asked about Adrian's return, and he referred to his superhuman powers of recovery.
Well, the mental fortitude, because when you tear your ACL, not saying it's not as bad as an injury as it was that Tony talked about back when he had it, but still, the mental hurdles that you're going to have to overcome, and he was ready to go that day in bed. I'll be back for the opener.
There's Kyle Williams, another big return. Brought one out 94 yards to open the 3rd quarter. Williams out to the 43-yard line. He returns this kickoff 50 yards.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bose, the official home audio sponsor of the NFL. By Budweiser, great times are waiting, grab some buds. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network, AT&T. Rethink possible.
Vikings lead by 11. Another big return by Kyle Williams. He has 160 of those return yards for San Francisco. Doing a terrific job this season, looking to erase the memories of his 2 miscues in the NFC Championship game in overtime.
Yeah, that was a tough afternoon for Kyle Williams, and he's come out. He's been a big spark plug here in the 2nd half, giving this 49ers offense great field position to start.
Kickoff returns of 94 and 50 yards for Kyle Williams here in the 2nd half. So they start from the 43, and the handoff to Frank Gore, who takes it across midfield, loses the football as he was brought down by Jamarcus Sanford. And it appears as if Gore was ruled down.
Minnesota's coming out with the football. Now it just depends on what they're going to rule him down. They ruled down by contact. We can go take a look. That's obviously punched out way before he was down.
That's not even close.
The scramble to the bottom of the pile. Now both offenses are out on the field.
Well, the other part of this, we have to have the clear recovery. You can see right there that it's out. We've established that it was clearly a fumble. Marvin Mitchell, Everson Griffin, both fighting for the ball right there.
Minnesota is challenging the ruling on the field of a runner down by contact. They fumbled prior to going down.
Now, this is the only instance in which a runner ruled down by contact can be reviewed if it involves a fumble. With no fumble, if you're ruled down by contact, it cannot be reviewed. So Rowan will take a look at it. There's Frank Gore, who initially was ruled down by contact. We will check in with our NFL rules analyst, Mike Pereira, in Los Angeles. Mike, what did you see on that play?
It's a little tricky one here because clearly we know one thing. It's a fumble. He's not down. You see the ball is clearly loose there. Now, before it gets into the scrum, you have to ascertain that there is a clear recovery. Now, we know that 97 ends up coming out of the pile with the ball, but is it clear? Is it clear before it goes into that scrum? I mean, you see a lot of blue jerseys, don't you?
Right,
you would assume that that's pretty clear.
You cannot review who comes out of the pile with it. It must be a clear recovery before the pile up.
You have got to see who recovers it before it goes into the scrum, and that's what they're dealing with right now. And let me remind you, too, now that, you know, we talk about the replay guys not being a part of this lockout situation. These are the regular replay guys that are looking at this, and now they're going to try to ascertain, do they have something that shows right there that there's a clear recovery and there's no way it could have exchanged hands from this point on.
All right, thanks, Mike. Here comes referee Ken Roan.
The ruling on the field has been reversed. San Francisco fumbled. 55, and Minnesota recovered the ball to 50-yard line. Please reset the clock to 14:04. Minnesota will not be charged a timeout for this challenge.
Mike, is there any hesitation? Because we thought 97 recovered the ball. By him coming out and saying 55, does that have any impact?
Well, I think it does confuse the issue a bit because, like you say, 97 comes out of the pile with the ball. They're saying that they had positive knowledge that 55 recovered the ball before it went into the scrum, and that's my issue with this play. I'm not sure that how you can do that because, you know, when you're talking clear recovery, you've got to see the person with the ball before the scrum, and that really becomes suspicious to me. It is clearly, no question, as we said, a fumble, but I don't know about the recovery.
And they have the same views that we're watching here on TV, right?
Exactly, Goose. And Adrian Peterson takes it down to the 42. Terrific second effort.
Well, I think one of the big things today, and we talked about this at the top, is San Francisco is kind of creating the model of playing tough physical football, offensively, defensively, great special teams, and attention to detail, all the little things. Today, it's been the Minnesota Vikings. They have taken that model. They're trying to emulate what San Francisco does. They're the team doing all the little things right today.
Off the play fake on 2nd and 2. It is Harvin who is hit hard by Deshaun Goldson. So Harvin unable to make the catch. 3rd and 2 upcoming.
Percy Harvin pushing that in route up, coming into that area, and this was one of the concerns of Bill Musgrave. He felt that they had very, very good safeties for the San Francisco 49ers. Deshaun Goldson and Dante Whitner, both very, very good.
Bonner on 3rd and 2. And it is John Carlson, the tight end, the intended receiver. Vikings go 3 and out.
We talk about Jared Allen on the other side. You also have to know where number 99 is. You know, you got to have a plan for Aldon Smith. I mean, as a situational pass rusher last year, he had 14 sacks. I don't think Navarro Bowman came through the back of John Carlson there. In my opinion, he came to the side.
Chris Cluey punting from his own 47-yard line, angled away from Kyle Williams, and the Vikings unable to keep it out of the end zone. So it's a touchback. 49ers will start from their own 20. Vikings unable to capitalize on the San Francisco turnover.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. From kickoff to the last yard, Chevy runs deep.
49ers trail by 11, and for San Francisco, this is the start of a 2-game road trip. They will not go home prior to next Sunday's game against the Jets. Instead, they will head to Ohio.
They did this last season, the same weeks 3 and 4, and one in Cincinnati and then in Philadelphia. They felt that was the springboard to their success last season, but in jeopardy here this afternoon.
On first down, it's Gore. So the 49ers will fly tonight to Youngstown, Ohio, spend the week practicing at Youngstown State. They get it right back into the hands of Gore, whose fumble on the last possession was his first since week 5 of last season.
And I like the call. I really like that call. You saw 255 touches in between, a career high for Frank Gore. Just show, hey, we haven't lost confidence in you. You're our guy. You have to be productive down the stretch here in the fourth quarter if we're going to pull this game out.
Second down and 9. Smith pulls it in. He's being chased by Brian Robinson. And he is out of bounds at the 31. Picks up a first down. Time for a game break with Kurt.
Well, the Bengals have sacked RG3 5 times. He only has 88 yards passing, but only fantasy owners care about that because that hookup with Santana Moss tied the game at 24. During the fourth quarter, Kenny Moose and Goose, 17 unanswered by the Skins.
The home debut for Robert Griffin III. We had a chance to watch him in his regular season debut in New Orleans 2 weeks ago.
Very impressive in a hostile environment.
On first down, Smith gets rid of it quickly to Crabtree, and he takes it up to the 34-yard line for a gain of 4. Vikings still without Jared Allen. Saw the medical staff working on his neck earlier this half. Second down and 6. Smith to Gore on the screen, and Frank Gore picks up the 49ers first down out to the 43.
That's a nice play right there, Darryl. I like that little screen. Run Frank Gore out like he's going to block one of the defensive linemen. Once he gets by him, turn around, dump it off to him, get him in that second level. That's a nice setup play, and also it frustrates you as a defensive lineman because now you got to turn and run back and help out on that screen. It could turn into a big play.
First reception for Gore today. He's carried the ball only 12 times. Kendall Hunter in the backfield on first down. This is Hunter. He's knocked back. It's Jasper Brinkley coming up the middle.
And a lot of stuff going on before this snap. Alex Smith trying to get out of the play. He's got to get Delaney Walker back to the side that he's supposed to be on. And then Kendall Hunter and Bruce Miller in the backfield trying to get on the same page before the ball snap.
Second and 10. Smith out of the shotgun, inside handoff to Hunter. And he is unable to break away from Chad Greenway, who has been sensational this afternoon.
He really has played well. And he has been all over the field. Coverage, making tackles in the run game, good decisions. Early in the game had a couple of sacks, one good one, one-handed to him. He's one of the leaders of this Vikings defense.
His 11th tackle today. Third down and 8.
Jared Allen's back in.
Well, it's third down and 8. Down. You think he was going to stick in the sideline? No way. Keep an eye on him.
Play clock at 1. Niners get the snap away. Smith still on his feet. Now he throws, and the pass sails away from the intended receiver, Kyle Williams.
Alex Smith got outside. This has got to be tough on him. They get pressure with the 4. Chad Greenway comes late when Kendall Hunter doesn't get out. And right here, I think because of the down and distance, he's got to try and find somebody downfield.
Smith had completed his last 8 attempts. Andy Lee waiting back at the 31. Marcus Sherrills lets it go. And and it will stay out of the end zone. Down at the 2 by Deshaun Goldson. So the Vikings pinned deep in their own territory. Smith and the Niners having their issues. Minnesota Vikings, who have been involved in 3-point games each of the first 2 weeks, an overtime win over Jacksonville and then a loss in Indianapolis, leading the 49ers by 11. Just over 9 minutes remaining. Vernon Davis can only watch. With the Vikings offense on the field, they start from their own 2-yard line as Peterson brings it out across the 5.
Great to be able to just turn around and hand the ball off to that guy in critical situations, you know.
Unbelievable, man. You know, and he does a good job of changing it up. I know that they were concerned about the cutback run, but that one right there, he was just downhill and just drove right through the line of scrimmage.
That is Isaac Sopoaga. So the 49ers medical staff will check out Sopoaga. Back in a moment.
Isaac Sopoaga being helped off the field. Head coach Jim Harbaugh in there with him, and this is one of those nasty ones, people. So I'm going to warn you right there. Isaac Sopoaga is going to be engaged, and the pile's going to fall on the back of his legs. He's going to get bent awkwardly back. Now he's walking off the field, which is amazing. So hopefully it looks a lot worse than it was, because when we first saw it during commercials, we were worried that we were going to have the card out on the field.
Sopoaga replaced by Ricky Jean Francois with under 9 minutes remaining. Second down and 7 for the Vikings. Ponder hands off to Peterson, and Adrian Peterson picks up a first down and more. Still going, and he is finally out of bounds. For Peterson, that is his longest run today. He gains 20.
And that's what Adrian Peterson is all about. And they have kept him in check throughout the course of the game. But Bill Musgrave has stayed committed to the run.
Little delayed draw right there. Adrian Peterson gets past them defensive linemen. See them linemen upfield. This is not what you want. You do not want Adrian Peterson running in your secondary.
77 yards on the ground for Peterson today. Ponder's pass is a bit short, intended for Percy Harvin.
You see his numbers, 20 out of 33, 184 and 2 touchdowns. A little bit below his completion percentage through the first 2 weeks, but I've been impressed with his decision making, his ability to run with the football. He's made some plays with his feet this afternoon that have been critical, but throwing on the move today, Christian Ponder has been excellent.
He ran for a touchdown and has not turned the ball over as Peterson gains a couple. Out to the 27. Vikings have put together 3 impressive scoring drives today. 3 touchdown drives have gone 82, 80, and 86 yards.
So they were backed up on this drive after the great punt by Andy Lee, starting at their own 2-yard line.
5-3 Lions.
Gerhardt on the backfield on 3rd down and 8. Ponder in trouble. Oh, it is nearly picked off by Dante Whitner. He should have had it.
You talked about the fact that Christian Ponder hasn't had a turnover yet today, Kenny, and he is very, very lucky he doesn't have one. Navarro Bowman, 53, comes through the gap clean. He's in his face. Don't make this throw in this situation. Dante Whitner flat out drops a touchdown. There is not a Viking in the area.
Offensive line did not do a good job of picking up that blitz. They had a linebacker right in the middle. They had enough guys to go and defend it, but no one got picked up.
So here's Cluey punting to Williams, who has had some big returns today. What a kick taken at the 20. There is a flag as Williams returns it 11 yards out to the 31. Penalty marker along the near sideline.
Well, we have an official without a hat, which means somebody went out of bounds. And did the 49ers follow him out of bounds and rough him up a little bit. When you go out of bounds, you're going to get the beanbag. When you get the second infraction, usually you're going to get a hand, and it looks like C.J. Spillman got a handful of face mask.
It also took Jefferson a while to come back inbounds onto the field of play.
On the return, we have a face mask, number 29 of the return team. 15 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
Actually, on 27, C.J. Spillman.
So this will force Alex Smith and the Niners back 15 yards. Well, San Francisco top many of the power rankings this week, as we mentioned during our open. Green Bay, New England over the first 2 weeks. Two powerhouse teams that suffered early losses. Packers at the hands of these 49ers. And the Niners find themselves on the road, first of 2 straight on the road, trailing by 11 with 7:12 remaining. Smith on first down, caught by Manningham. At the 21-yard line, Chris Cook made the tackle.
In my opinion, you need a little bit of sense of urgency here on this drive now. We're at just inside 7 minutes, and it's a 2-possession game. And the way that Minnesota has been moving the football all afternoon, it has to be similar to a 2-minute mode here.
Absolutely. Look at both offensive tackles, how deep they are.
Smith on second down, and that is through the hands of Davis.
Smith's perspective, got Vernon Davis right there. That ball just beats him up.
You get a good read off the offensive line, especially tackles outside foot. If it's back, if it's going to be run or pass, but you still have to be aware if it's a draw, if you have it back in the backfield.
3rd down and 6. Smith again looking for Davis. A.J. Jefferson on the coverage.
Really not a great angle by Vernon Davis on this crossing route. He's got A.J. Jefferson in tight coverage. I want you to see he's going to be drifting down the field and allows A.J. Jefferson to play him underneath. He's got to have that squared off more when he feels that man coverage behind him to give Alex Smith a better angle to throw at.
So with 6.5 remaining, Lee will punt it away. Sherrill's back deep for the Vikings. Fair catch is called for at the 30. So the Vikings lead 24-13. Christian Ponder, 2 touchdown passes to Kyle Rudolph. One in the first quarter. And again in the 4th, and Ponder also ran one in from 23 yards out.
Offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave told us that we just got to find some things to get Christian some confidence. And this Minnesota Viking team last year, they were 2-9 in 1-possession games. So, and Christian was 2-8 as a starter. So he's been close, but he hasn't been able to finish these. And Coach Musgrave kept talking about we just got to get some wins for him to start getting some confidence in his performance.
Adrian Peterson on a tackle by Aldon Smith after a gain of 6. Remember, Donovan McNabb started the season as the Vikings starter last year, started the first 6 games, and then was replaced by Ponder, 12th overall draft pick last year out of Florida State.
That's a tough day at the office right there, especially against this San Francisco defensive front.
San Francisco defense, Darryl, that has allowed one running back to rush for 100 yards in their last 40 games. Second down and 4, it's Gerhardt. And Toby Gerhardt picks up the first down, doing it right in front of his coach at Stanford, Jim Harbaugh. Gerhardt picks up 10.
Now you got fresh legs in the backfield. Yeah.
That's amazing because San Francisco had 5 guys on the line of scrimmage and the 2 linemen. They had 7 guys defending this run, and they were shifted over towards the side that Toby ran to.
Finished second in Heisman voting to Mark Ingram, closest balloting ever back in 2009. Had a great season playing for Harbaugh. Led the nation in rushing touchdowns. Picks up a big first down for the Vikings. Gerhardt again. Pushes the pile to the 49. We hit 5 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Vikings have led throughout. They started the game with a 16-play, 82-yard scoring drive and have not looked back.
They sent a message early. And this is a team that has struggled in the first half of their first 2 games this season.
Second down and 7, it's Gerhardt. Carl Bowman, first 49er, made contact. It's his 16th tackle today.
Now that time San Francisco had 8 guys in the box, and it looks like, you know, Minnesota really doesn't care. They're just going to stick with the run. They're going to work this clock right now with 4:11 left on it. Try to run down, take the time away from them.
How about that? 147 rushing yards against this Niners defense.
That's impressive. Great job of those guys up front.
Niners allowed an average of 64 yards on the ground over the first 2 games. Under on 3rd down, and the catch is made by Harvin. Percy Harvin picks up a Vikings first down as the clock continues to run. And now Jim Harbaugh uses his first timeout.
You have to understand the situation. Terrell Brown kind of bails to the outside. I mean, we're 3rd and medium right here. I mean, the one thing you have to be thinking is slant. And, you know, he was not clean off the release. Percy Harvin beat him right away. Made it too easy for him to get down inside.
So with 3:39 remaining, new set of downs for the Vikings. Saturday, it's another great week of college football on Fox, beginning with the Fox College Saturday pregame show with Aaron Andrews, Eddie George, and Joey Harrington. Then the 12th-ranked Texas Longhorns look to stay undefeated. They head to Stillwater, Oklahoma to take on the upset-minded Oklahoma State Cowboys in the Big 12 opener for both teams. Coverage of Fox College football begins Saturday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.
Well, the Horns better be careful. 2 weeks ago, we had Stanford knock off USC. This week, it was Kansas State taking down Oklahoma.
And now, after the Gerhardt carry up the middle, Niners will stop the clock again. They use their second timeout. So with 3.5 remaining, Jim Harbaugh's 49ers playing the first of this 2-game road trip. As we mentioned, they'll head to Youngstown, Ohio, trail the Vikings by 11.
Well, they talked about how it was a springboard for them last year with the victory over Cincinnati and then going on to Philadelphia, coming back from a big deficit. And that was kind of their rallying point all last season, and they hope to duplicate that again this year. But today, hats off to the Minnesota Vikings. As you pointed out, from the opening drive of this game, they've come out and really taken control of the line of scrimmage. And we talked about San Francisco being a team that plays a style that Minnesota would like to emulate, and Minnesota has out San Francisco'd them this afternoon by doing all the little things and the attention to detail, along with a tough running game and some good defense.
It's Gerhardt again on second down.
I just thought the biggest surprise, Darryl, was, not getting Frank Gore started early in this game. They never established the run. They went into halftime. They come back after halftime. They try to get him going, but it's too late. They started running down the clock. Minnesota did a great job of going and working the clock and keeping the ball on the ground and ball security. You got to take your hat off to this Minnesota team. They did a great job today in executing their game plan and doing exactly what they wanted to do, is control the clock and not turn the ball over.
You can't forget about that drive, the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, Goose, because they'd come out, San Francisco had come out with Kyle Williams with a couple of good kickoff returns, and it had gotten it back to 17-13. And that was a huge response by Minnesota, because they've had a lot of moral victories and they're making progress, but they haven't been able to get over that hump and get a quality win. They've been close a bunch of times, and they're tired of that. And Antoine Winfield and Chad Greenway and Jared Allen, a lot of the older guys, have stood up this week and talked about, hey, no more moral victories. We got to come out and we got to play this team. We got to play them well, and they've done that.
I totally agree, and I think that San Francisco, talking to them before the game, they wanted to put it in Christian Ponder's hands. And that's exactly what he did, and he capitalized. Running for that touchdown, I thought that was huge. No one was expecting that. Him going and seeing the linebacker coming outside, and all of a sudden having a single backer back there and going, and that little extra effort to get in and put his team ahead. He played a really good game today.
During the discussion, you saw a shot at Jim Harbaugh, who was really animated, and now he's dropped a challenge flag. We were not able to get the audio on that announcement. Trying to track down some information for you. As soon as we find out what Jim Harbaugh is challenging here, we'll get that information passed along to you. But you can see he's still very upset. And you saw the confrontation with the officials on the sideline. The replay booth, we just contacted them. They have no idea what the challenge is. Leslie Frazier has no idea what the challenge is.
And we could not hear the announcement from Ken Roan. There have been some communication issues today. He was inconsistent as far as announcing the numbers on penalties earlier. So Jim Harbaugh has thrown the red flag, but even the replay booth has no idea why. Following the third and final timeout called by Jim Harbaugh, we bring in Mike Pereira once again from Los Angeles. Mike, are you as confused as we are up here in the broadcast booth?
I am, but watching Harbaugh talk to the officials, he kept talking about timeouts and whether he had another one left, maybe, or whatever, but that's not reviewable. You can't go to the replay booth to ascertain if there's any timeouts left for a team. That's not reviewable. You could go to the statistician, I guess, but you certainly can't go to the replay booth. But I'm lost by just like everybody else. This is kind of reminiscent of some of the delays that we run into when we're not sure what's reviewable, what's not reviewable. This type of thing just is not good.
This is the last play, the run by Gerhardt. And again, the word.
Remember, if he called his, hey, here's the thing, if he called his third timeout, then he has none left.
Right.
He can't challenge the play after he's called his timeout. So that can't be either. So that's the other thing here.
By our count, he used all 3 timeouts. According to the scoreboard in the stadium, he has no timeouts remaining. Our Fox box in the upper left-hand corner. So that adds some more intrigue to the issue. Thanks, Mike.
Well, as you were watching at home, you saw the ball come out late when Toby Gerhardt was calling it. But as Mike Pereira said, if he's out of timeouts, if he's already called that timeout, if he's running in right now to call the timeout, and then you want to go back and review this. So that is what the challenge into the play, and then you have Patrick Willis with the clean recovery.
We finally received word from the replay booth. That is what Harbaugh is challenging. But as Mike said, if he used his third timeout, you are not allowed to challenge. So we'll bring in Mike Pereira once again from Los Angeles. And Mike, according to the replay booth, Harbaugh is challenging that last play, but as you mentioned, he does not have any timeouts remaining.
Yeah, that's the whole issue here. If he called timeout after this play, if he did call timeout and used his third timeout, then he cannot challenge this play. So you shouldn't have any type of a review going on now. And I assume that he did call timeout right after the play in using his third timeout. And you have to have a timeout available to challenge. So we should be not, would seem to me, looking that we should not have a review going on here.
And Mike, is this correct? The only way you can have a timeout reinstated if there was an injured player on the opposition on that play, if there was a measurement called for, or if the challenge was simultaneous.
Yeah, there could be some of those if there was an actual injury to an opponent at the same moment that he called the timeout.
And we don't have any of that going on in this play. There is no measurement, so there is no reason.
No.
Here's Ken Roan.
On further review, Minnesota fumbled the ball with a clear recovery by San Francisco. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. San Francisco is not charged a timeout for their challenge.
They don't have one to be charged.
And you cannot throw the challenge flag if you do not have any timeouts remaining. And by our count and by look up at the scoreboard, Jim Harbaugh did, in fact, prior to that challenge, use his third and final timeout. But now Leslie Frazier in an animated discussion, and that's about as animated as you will see Leslie Frazier.
Let's go back and take a look at the Toby Gerhart fumble in real time. Wow. You got the whistle blown before the ball comes out.
And now, mysteriously, one timeout has gone back up on the scoreboard on the San Francisco side. But Harbaugh definitely called timeout prior to throwing the red flag. So it will be San Francisco football with 3:29 remaining. They trail by 11. From the 33 on 1st down. Smith wrapped up, stays on his feet, stumbles forward. And it's down at the 45.
Well, if you don't know which way to go, hopefully one of your offensive linemen will go and point you in the right direction.
Pass is caught by Vernon Davis into Vikings territory.
I just hope that Minnesota can weather this change of events right here. This is unbelievable.
Beautiful defensive play. The pass intended for Crabtree as Antoine Winfield got a piece of it. Second and 10 from the Vikings 48. Smith fires and it is picked off. Josh Robinson, the rookie out of Central Florida.
Here's something we haven't seen in a long time, and that's an interception thrown by Alex Smith. Michael Crabtree Coming from the top, number 15 on the deep in route. It looks like the ball was thrown more than it was going to be a deep hitch. Alex Smith not throwing that ball to the inside of the field. Josh Robinson in the position to make the interception.
So the Vikings take over following the pick with 2:18 on the clock. Toby Gerhardt. Alex Smith had not thrown a pick, Darrell, since last Thanksgiving. A franchise record 249 attempts without an interception. For the Vikings, their first interception this season, the first career pick for the third-round choice, Josh Robinson.
Jim Harbaugh just threw the red flag again, guys.
Oh, they think that Toby Gerhardt fumbled again.
San Francisco is challenging the ruling on the field. It says the ball was fumbled.
Hey, we've been here before, haven't we?
Listen. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't comment on this one, Darrell.
It is definitely a fumble. Now you got to get a clear recovery. I think Toby Gerhardt has the clear recovery right now. Yeah. So there was a fumble, but the second part is not there. You know, the clear recovery goes to Toby Gerhardt, so it doesn't do Jim Harbaugh any good, number one. Number two, he's on his second challenge that he doesn't have.
Although
this would be 4 timeouts.
If you have it, you may as well use it because there are only 14 seconds until the 2-minute warning, and after that, you cannot challenge.
Well, we need to get up to the booth. This has been one of the more confusing 2 minutes of football that I've ever been associated with.
So referee Ken Rohn once again taking a look at the replays of the last play. Vikings lead the 49ers 24-13. We have 2:14 remaining in the fourth quarter here in Minneapolis.
I would have Adrian Peterson getting ready to go into the huddle anyways. I know that you're concerned about what can happen, but the way that he plays the game, the way he's played the first 3 weeks, that's twice Toby's put it on the ground here in a critical situation. The last one, definitely a fumble. Very fortunate to get that one back. The one before, the whistle had blown, but take the doubt out right now because there's not a lot of confidence in the people here in this crew.
Minnesota player did fumble the ball, but recovered his own fumble, and then down by contact. Therefore, a second down. San Francisco is charged their third and final timeout.
Or their fifth.
Their sixth.
So Gerhardt recovered his own fumble. Harbaugh out of challenges.
We think.
He goes 1 for 2 on the pair of challenges. So with 2:14 remaining, Vikings maintain possession. Peterson still on the sidelines.
Mike's 5-3. Check it, 5-2. Down. 20. What's that?
Gerhardt again. And he's taken down from behind by Ricky Jean-Francois. Niners out of timeouts, we think. So they cannot stop the clock. We hit the 2-minute warning with the Minnesota Vikings leading by 11. Two minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston, Tony Siragusa in Minneapolis, with the Vikings leading Alex Smith and the Niners 24-13. Third down and 9. Gerhardt up the middle, loses the football again, and it's recovered by Carlos Rogers. The third Gerhardt fumble here in the fourth quarter, so the 49ers get the ball back.
Well, I'm going to put that fumble on Coach Frazier, because we'd already had 2, and you just can't take the chance. You've got to play to win every single game, and I know you've got some considerations about Adrian Peterson's condition right now. You know, you can't worry about things that are out of your control. The one thing that is in your control right now is Toby Gerhardt is having trouble holding on to the ball in a critical situation of the game. Get him onto the sideline and get Adrian Peterson out there. Or put Percy Harvin in the backfield. There's options.
Carlos Rogers on the recovery of the Gerhardt fumble. Patrick Willis helped off. That is not good news for the 49ers, who take over with no timeouts remaining from their own 42-yard line. And a minute 47 on the clock. Smith fires downfield, and the catch is made by Manningham in Vikings territory. Manningham gains 22.
Well, during the process of this drive, we're going to try and get Mike Pereira in here to clear up what has gone on. Mike, can you take us through the situation? We've been told here at the stadium that Jim Harbaugh called the timeout, his third and final timeout, but then asked for the challenge. They granted him that as a continuation of that play. Is that how the rule works?
No, you can't do that. I mean, that's why if you call a timeout and then you challenge after that and you lose, you actually lose 2 timeouts. You have to have a timeout left to challenge. That should not have been reviewed.
Now Smith gets hit, loses the football, and it appears the Vikings have recovered. Brian Robinson. We welcome those of you who have just joined us, who have been watching the Bears and the Rams. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa, with the Vikings leading the Niners 24-13. It's Jared Allen coming up with his first sack of the season on the last play. It's recovered by Brian Robinson, and now the Vikings will run the clock out.
Hopefully they will run the clock out. It has been a wild and crazy 3 minutes here to finish this game. We have had a third challenge, or a challenge granted after a third timeout by San Francisco, and we've had changes of possession, and all the while we were worried that Minnesota was going to potentially lose the game and have that game taken away from them by a call on the field. Kenny, bring in Mike Pereira to explain.
Yeah, we've talked to Mike on a number of occasions late in this fourth quarter, and Mike has been emphatic as far as a team not being allowed to throw a challenge flag after calling their third and final timeout. And Mike, that is exactly what we saw here in Minneapolis after Harbaugh used his final timeout. He was granted the challenge, but you have emphatically said twice now on our broadcast that that was incorrectly awarded, that challenge, by the officials.
To me, this is one of those deals where the NFL's lucky, because when they go back and review this, they're going to understand that you cannot challenge a play if you have no timeouts left. And if you use a timeout at the end of a play to stop the clock, and then you throw the challenge flag, if you have still a timeout left, you risk that remaining timeout, and you could lose 2 timeouts in one play. So, you know, that should not have been reviewed. But
well, as you pointed out, Mike, we're very fortunate that we had the chain of events that we did, and Minnesota ended up being the winner of this game.
And fortunate that we have Mike to clear it all up for us. So thanks to Mike Pereira for all of his help. Minnesota now 2-1. 49ers suffer their first loss. They drop to 2-1. Vikings win it 24-13. A pair of touchdown passes and a touchdown run by Christian Ponder. For Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa, and our entire crew, Kenny Albert saying so long as we take you to the Cowboys and Buccaneers with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.